joined here today with a familiar face and one that our investors haven't seen yet. John, welcome back to the show. Thank you very much. And Jim Payne, President and CEO of dynaCERT.
Brandon, it's a pleasure.
Welcome to our show as well. And the last time you were here, we were talking about a few developments and some news with Sparta, and one of them that caught a lot of investors' eyes was dynaCERT. And so you've brought Jim in today, who is running this company, is behind this, and is going to be able to give us a better understanding of what exactly it is that you're doing with your company, but also the partnership between the two of you and how that looks. So to start off, yourself, my good sir, dynaCERT for those, how did that come to be?
Well, dynaCERT, we are a company, we have a very unique electrolysis system. What we do is we produce pure hydrogen and pure oxygen on demand. And this is for internal combustion engines, or specifically for diesel engines. What we do is we produce these gases and we introduce it to the internal combustion engine through the intake. What we really do, though, it's an enhancement. Our hydrogen, it enhances the burn so that you're getting a more complete burn out of the diesel. By doing that, it is reducing the emissions very significantly, but at the same time, you're getting a significant fuel savings, averaging 10 to 15%.
Yeah, and both those are very important. Fuel savings, obviously, for any company. If you can save yourself on any type of overhead, a company is definitely going to want to do that. But also, it really does tie in with the Sparta mentality of cleaner, renewables, finding new ways of either taking waste that once was and make it into something else, or cutting back and making something more efficient like you have with your service here. So I can see that's most likely and exactly why the two of you are sitting beside each other right now.
Well, that hydrogen enhanced combustion technology fits right exactly into what we're doing, because what you're really doing is you're getting a bigger bang for your buck. You're already putting the fuel in, you're just not burning it all. So now we have a chance to, because every fuel, no matter what fuel we're talking about, has a time constant. Hydrogen's very, very fast, and it helps to ignite the diesel fuel. And that, as I think I told you before, what you see is by not seeing the black smoke that's coming out of the vehicle means that's enhanced production out of the engine. So therefore, no smoke. That means that smoke has been turned into fuel. It's been actually turned into something, so you get better mileage. The nice thing is you're able to clean up the environment, and it really not costing you anything. You're putting some money in your pocket. And I think that's what's really nice is we're starting to see the market really embrace the idea that they want to be clean, not just for the marketing of it. That's not the thing. Everyone is still concerned about our children, our grandchildren, about what can happen, and it's very nice if you can do that without government subsidy, but to do that with just through the savings that occur.
Yeah, and if you think of a diesel, especially a diesel truck, not many diesel cars in Canada, but throughout Europe, they're all over the place as well. But just as a child, I remember growing up and just watching these trucks as they go by, and they start going, just a cloud of black smoke coming out of them. You don't see it as much. It's starting to slow up, but you still see, especially when someone's done any type of souped up to their truck or anything like that, it's all over the place. But eliminating that and being able to make their trucks more efficient so that they're not having to sacrifice anything, you're making it more efficient. But also, it just makes more sense for the environment as well, where you're using, or that's wasted fuel because it's just burning out and being out, instead of, like you just said, if it's coming out cleaner, you can see it, it's actually being used for its purpose and not just wasted. Am I correct by saying that?
Yeah, actually, most of the time that what you're seeing now, you say you're right. A lot of trucks today don't have it, but that's post-combustion cleanup. Like, you've already combusted badly, and then you've used a methodology to fix it, catalytic converters that convert it. But this is done on pre-combustion, so it's actually helping the combustion in the first part. And if you do that, then that means that the catalytic converter doesn't have to work as hard and will last longer.
That's right. You look at the trucking industry. Nowadays they have the DPF and the DEF and all these filtration systems and all these after the burn systems to try and clean up the exhaust. With the introduction of hydrogen at the source, we're literally reducing these emissions right at the source. And when I say significantly, and this is something we've just had proven through Germany. We reduce the NOx, the NOx, which is certainly the most deadly gas. We're reducing that by 88%, but we're reducing that right at the source. You take the particulate matter, or the unburnt fuel and the black fuel, we're reducing that by 50%. And this was proven by TÜV North and TÜV South in Germany. And we've also had this tested and verified through Pitt Group in Canada, and through ICAT in India. So we've gone to a great extreme to have this technology proven.
Yeah, and I appreciate that because a lot of people have a lot of claims, whether it be for the good or for the bad.
Right.
And I think when people start really looking into some of these claims, that they find a lot of them, unfortunately. I mean, just bring up an example when people talk about diets. Everyone thinks they have the perfect diet, whether it's the keto diet, whether it's you're doing intermittent fasting, whatever it be. But so many claims are out there, but not enough companies or people, but in this case companies, take the time to actually prove those claims, and now they have a viable system in which they can use moving forward. It's not just it doesn't sound like this is a wish or wishful thinking. This is something that you've proven and something that you were moving on and into the development phase and really getting it out there.
Right.
So we're taking it, excuse me, we're taking it a step further. And the reason that we really, joined forces here is that here in Canada, as you know, Sparta's real goal is to take a bite out of that ocean plastic, but just single-use plastic. We all know it's a problem. It's showing up everywhere that single-use plastic is a real issue. But like I've said before, respect your waste. The waste still has energy in it, and so what we've been working on, and we're working to develop and get out there, is taking that single-use plastic, which you think is waste, but in reality it's still a BTU content, converting it into diesel fuel, so it's a synthetic fuel that can be used, and then using it to get that last bit of energy out of it before it gets turned into CO2 again, and then put back to Earth, given back to nature. But if you're going to do that, why waste a whole bunch of it? Let's connect up with what hydrogen-enhanced combustion can do for you, so the hydrogen system can work on that, and get more bang for your buck out of the fuel that we're producing, and therefore clean the environment even more. That's the attempt. The other great thing is that kind of inherent in your dynaCERT system is that it's got a tracking system. They've worked very hard in putting on a greenhouse gas tracking system. So with the technology we have today to be able to tap into the ECM of the truck and use the smart ECM of the unit, we're able to actually monitor this. So the whole goal here is that very soon we will be having trucks run down the road that are being powered completely by synthetic fuel, and they will also be enhanced with the hydrogen, but being tracked. And with these trucks, you'll be seeing them. They run from essentially eastern GTA, Oshawa area, all the way down into Michigan, and back and forth across the 401 all the time. That we'll see them, and we'll be out there to give our results. So it's a combined effort, because ultimately the whole goal here is, as we prove this and as we can see that, then we want to take that Canadian technology, which is the conversion of plastic to fuel and the addition of hydrogen, and take it all around the world, to take it to all kinds of places.
Absolutely. And you said a combined effort there. And going on those words, you recently had Stephen Lobb being appointed to your advisory board, and Jim yourself have just recently been appointed. What does that relationship mean in terms of Sparta specifically, of having you as a part of the team now and being able to give your expertise and help grow both your company, of course, but with Sparta as well?
Well, I think it's a real win-win for both of us. I've been a big believer, and anybody that knows me, I always talk about collective intelligence. That's really important to me. But certainly John, with his vast experience previously within the hydrogen industry, he brings a lot of expertise there. Certainly, you look at what Sparta is doing, you look at what dynaCERT is doing. I mean, we're both making a very serious effort to help reduce the greenhouse gases and to clean up this environment. And it's like John said, I mean, I have grandchildren, I have 7 grandchildren. I mean, it's very important to me to be able to leave this world in a better place. And I think we both believe this very, very strongly. And, you look at what we are doing collectively, with what Sparta's doing, with what dynaCERT's doing. I mean, this is a real collective effort to help reduce these emissions. And this is something that we really need to start taking a much stronger stand.
Yeah, and I like hearing that as well, because it's amazing what's happened over the last just 50 years of all the plastics that have come on. That one day they were a great invention, and everyone, I remember speaking with you, that plastic came out and everyone's like, oh, we can stop killing the trees. But literally know what was happening. You've got a video I'd like to show right now that really goes into this mindset. And like you were saying earlier, talking about your children, your grandchildren, we need to see something happen. And there's a very good reason why. And we'll watch that right now, actually.
So what can Sparta do? Over the past couple of years, Sparta has been successful in applying technology and innovative thinking to capture, convert, and optimize energy, helping customers achieve a better bottom line while bringing the environment back into balance. Energy and material are being wasted everywhere we turn, but now Sparta has its sights set on the major worldwide goal of helping rid the world of the mountains of waste plastic being discarded every year. In just 50 years, our planet has been overwhelmed by what once seemed to be an incredible technological development, delivering a multitude of everyday products that were not only low cost, but were incredibly durable. Unfortunately, that durability has come back to haunt us as our landfills and waterways are being choked by discarded plastics. And while that may seem like an insurmountable problem to some, at Sparta, it's being viewed as a huge opportunity, converting that unsightly mess into valuable new consumable products, like clean synthetic fuels that can be burned for one last time before being restored by Mother Earth. With this in mind, Sparta is now planning to construct its first facility in the GTA to transform more than 18,000 tons of plastic annually into 13 million liters of clean synthetic diesel fuel. Over the past couple of years, Sparta has solved customers' problems while generating income from such things as converting waste paper fiber to large animal bedding, fertilizer, and energy, upcycling many tons of electronic waste, converting safety systems to light-emitting, energy-saving technologies, consuming zero energy other than ambient light, recycling of electronic components, LED lighting retrofits, environmentally conscious excavation in the fiber optic arena, power factor and harmonic mitigation, Internet of Things-based energy management. Therefore, it should be obvious that the Sparta Group is far from a one-dimensional company. By offering multiple forward-thinking solutions to a diverse customer's base, the company strives to position itself as the place to turn to when it comes to energy efficiency, generating value through innovation that improves efficiency, thus rewarding its shareholders in the process. The Sparta Group wants its customers to position themselves in the best possible light as well. It not only wants them to save money and energy, it wants to assist in their efforts to help the world. Sparta Group, capturing, converting, optimizing, and helping change the world for future generations.
Fantastic. I appreciate that because, that opens up your eyes when you see something like this. And it's not just Sparta. It's not just dynaCERT. It's not just, this is a real world issue that is, I think we're starting to get traction. You can see single serve plastics and all these places are being ditched and all of that, but there still needs to be so much more with the current waste that's out there.
Correct, and that is why we've got the video that we did. It's new. It's just been put up on our site very recently to try to get that message across, to build the audience, for people to realize that what it is that we're really doing, and plastic being one of them. And as we've talked before about using biomass as well, is converting biomass as well, whatever the waste, you often hear me say, respect your waste. Respect it for what the BTU content is in it, and we can do something with it.
With this whole idea of making biomass into a fuel that you can use, is this another relationship that could form on this exact aspect between the two of your companies, or how would that work?
Hadn't thought of it, but
yeah.
You know what? Hey, I
just triggered in my head.
That's good. No, it's a good question. It's hydrogen, and like I say, hydrogen. Every fuel has a different combustion time constant, and hydrogen does help. So, yeah, there's possibilities there for sure.
Oh, absolutely, and more so on yourself, Jim, and what you're doing. What is the main goal of, we already spoke that you want, the environment's very important to you for your children, your grandchildren, whatever have you, but for your specific company, what is your main point where this is what we're going to do, and we're going to do it very, very well?
Well, you look at what we're doing, and we are a Canadian company with a global solution to reduce pollution. And, our initial focus was transport trucks. We're moving from transport trucks to large diesel engines to like big power generation to shipping to rail. We've just gone global. We have now just opened offices in Germany and India and in the Middle East. But we are also very focused on the carbon credit world, because with, like John had talked about earlier, with our Smart ECU, actually the patent was just awarded today. There's a press release probably just gone out in the last 15, 20 minutes, about this. And this Smart ECU, what this does is it monitors, first of all, it communicates with a diesel engine to get the proper mixture of fuel to optimize performance. But then it measures that, and it actually has the ability to monitor and monetize carbon credits. And we're in a process right now of having this certified through the UK, and certainly because of the Paris Accord, it affects most of the world. And so we are taking a very strong leadership role in not just developing the carbon credits in these verticals, but actually monitoring it and monetizing it also. So, for the company, that is certainly a big focus for us.
No, absolutely. And again, you can see the commonality between all these different areas that we've been talking about. And it all leads down to being more efficient, being smarter. And as corporate responsibility, this is something that's being taught a lot in today's business school, but for decades, I don't think that was really taught, or at least not well. And I take that from speaking with professors and actually hearing them, where they're happy to start seeing it come out, because the corporate responsibility is actually much higher than we currently have on these different businesses, because they'll drop waste into lakes without even thinking about it. They'll pour plastic upon plastic upon plastic, all just for one piece of good. It's amazing how it's really shifted over the last few years. You feel it.
We have to think environment first. It is a shift. It's a paradigm shift, and it's a very interesting paradigm shift, because this is, I haven't been able to think of another one, possibly the dawn of the Industrial Revolution, but this is one paradigm shift where the people that we're trying to shift it have already shifted, meaning the millennials and down have already shifted. And and this is really part of the mantra of where Sparta came from, is the old guys, we have grandchildren. We are concerned that we want to do and pass on the knowledge that we've gained over our decades of time in being in business, to hand that off to your generation, to be able to say, let's show you, help show you the way. You guys are already going there. You're already getting it. It's just you're saying, but how do we do it? It's such a daunting problem. It's it's a mega problem. And only in the last year, maybe 2 years, have we seen just how that plastic has hit the oceans. That just made it, like, the problem's always been there, and it's been increasing, but that visualized it for all of us to look at it and go, holy cow, we better do something about this. And we're there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing that it has only been the last few years. We might be speaking, I might be speaking ignorantly here, because of course there's been a bunch of different people trying to fix this, whatever, but I don't think we've ever seen such an emphasis on this. And that's where the last year or two we've really seen it, because look, all these different retail chains and grocery stores and places saying we're done with, I think the biggest one that just recently happened was IKEA. They were saying in all of their restaurants or anything that's with all of the one-serve plastics are going to be removed. Yep. It's happening. It's good, one after the other. So it really is having momentum. But it's one thing to cut it out now. It's a whole other thing to figure out what do we do with everything that's still out there.
Well, and that is part of the approach, is that while we're doing what we're doing right now with plastic, for example, and that just helps fund what we're really attempting to do. And so we've been in discussions with other people. I've certainly been talking with a group in China, and it's incredible. Like, you take a styrofoam container that we use for fast food. They've been able to make that out of rice husks, but they do it in a fashion so that it's actually fertilizer. So you're happy to use the container because you can give it to somebody else, and they'll take it. They want to put it on their land because you can actually put it back to the environment.
Yeah, and well, just in general, right? I think what you're really focusing on is that we need to find efficiencies. We just need to rethink how we're doing things.
Correct.
It's been so long of doing the same thing over and over and over again, where for yourself you see something and like, wait, that's It's an easy solution. Why aren't we doing that? I think the trend is really starting to come in for renewable energy and just doing things smarter, because you said the dollar amount. At the end of the day, a lot of these politicians, let's be very honest, dollars are very, very important. If you can also save companies money, make companies more efficient, you increase productivity, you're now increasing your GDP of your country. Why would you not want that? And at the end of the day, you're also potentially saving the environment or having less waste out there. That just makes sense to me. It just does. So I appreciate everything you gentlemen are doing, and thank you very much for coming on our show as well.
I was going to laugh when
sorry.
You made a comment there, and I was going to look at you, Jim, and say, yeah, you're an overnight success. How many years and $40-50 million?
That's it.
No.
Yeah.
Overnight success in 15 years.
Yeah. And that's the kind of investment it takes. It takes people with a passion to get behind things and to work in behind and actually stick with it and make something work. So
absolutely,
we're in the same field for that.
Yeah, and I'm very excited to continue to hear these stories progress. It's one of the reasons why we built our platform in this way, that we love having the executives of these companies coming on and talking about your company. But then each time you come on, you're giving some sort of an update, or what's currently what's working, what hasn't worked, where are your eyes going next. So really excited to have that for both of you gentlemen. Thank you very much for coming on. It's been a pleasure for both of you.
Thank you.
Brandon.
And enjoy the rest of your day as well. Oh, and very lastly, actually, to find out more information on Sparta, if you can say your website and then yourself as well just after.
Website is spartagroup.ca, and I guess your
ticker's right behind you.
Yeah.
And dynaCERT is dynaCERT.com, and our ticker is DYA.
Perfect. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brandon.